you're on diet.
Next week. Have you been there before? Come on, just admit it.
Nope.
It's okay.
It's okay, it's okay!
I have been there more times than I can count. And for the first time in my life, I think I'm finally out of that cycle. Maybe. Or maybe next week. Welcome back to Kim's Corner. My name is Kim.
Duh.
And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I went from this to this. As you can see, I have been on a journey, on a fitness journey, and since March of last year, I have lost 50 kilos, guys. So this is a really big deal for me, you guys. I have been trying to do this for a very long time, ever since I could remember. I highly recommend that you watch my previous video about my PCOS story and how I gained weight, so you'll have more insight about everything that I will share today. So the most important thing that really made me lose weight and stick to my routine was changing my mindset. We don't realize it, but when it comes to physical fitness, it's really more of a mental thing, but we're not gonna talk about that in this video. Today, I just wanna focus on all the practical steps that I took, like my actual actions, specifically when it comes to food, my physical activity, and some habits that I have developed and have been practicing in the last couple of months. And I really hope that this will help at least one person out there.
Just one.
Just a disclaimer, again, I am not a doctor, I'm not a personal trainer, I don't have a degree in fitness, nutrition whatsoever, and you do not have to follow everything that I did in order to get results. And even if you do, it's not a guarantee that you will have the same results as me. We all have different bodies, and what works for me may or may not work for you. I simply want to share my own personal experience because a lot of my friends have been asking me about my weight loss, and maybe you can take just one or two things from this and make it your own version, like your own way, something that will work for your own life. So let's get right into it. But wait!
Wait.
I just want to make a couple of things clear from the get-go. Number one, you are beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change if you don't want to, but if you do, I hope I'll be able to help you one way or another. Number two, I am so terrible at tracking my progress, guys. So I don't really know exactly how much I weighed when I first started, or even how much I weigh now. But to be honest, I don't really base my progress solely on the number on the scale, because it's not really the whole picture. But I know that some people really want to know about that stuff. So the numbers that I'm going to be sharing here is just the highest number that I've ever seen on the scale, and how much I weighed a couple of days ago. So just take it as an estimate. It could be more, it could be less. Number three, I am still in the middle of my fitness journey. Yes, I have already lost most of the weight that I want to lose, but I am still not where I want to be physically. I still have some goals, and I know I still have a long way to go. And number four, I'm pretty much already where I need to be mentally, like in terms of my relationship with food, my body, and my general outlook in life. That's why I'm already a bit confident to share what I have learned. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, here's what I did to lose 15 kilos in 10 months. One of the things that really kick-started my fitness journey was seeing one of my friends post a video of herself doing yoga. She is a nutritionist and she's also a fellow sister. She also has PCOS, and it wasn't really so much about the yoga that struck me, it was her caption. She said something like, staying away from HIIT or high intensity interval training, taking it slow because apparently doing cardio or getting my heart rate up is not good for my PCOS because it releases cortisol and it causes me to gain more weight. I'm paraphrasing, but OMG. I was so shocked that that was even a possibility. Like in my head, it's always been cardio equals exercise equals weight loss. I felt so validated, so I messaged her about it and she led me to this page on Instagram. It was the first time that I had hope that I could actually do this because there's another way. And it wasn't just me, there were a lot of other people who are also going through what I'm going through. And also, it wasn't all in my head. Like many times before, I would go to the gym and work out, and I honestly hated every minute of it. Kenan and I would have these phases where we would go to the gym and we would work out for a couple of weeks, and then we would lose motivation and just stop going. And every single time that we would do that, I would be much heavier than if we never started at all. I really dreaded going to the gym and I never got results. And I always thought that it was just because I was lazy. But no, I was actually stressing my body too much and I just haven't found the exercise that I enjoy. So from PCOS weight loss, I found the concept of slow weighted workouts. And so I did that. I followed one of the workouts that they posted on their Instagram page. And for the first time in my gym life, I didn't feel like I was dying. It was hard, but not too hard. Just enough to really stimulate my body. I was starting from zero, so any movement at all would have worked anyways. At the end of my first workout, I felt really good. And that was very new to me because like I said before, I really hated going to the gym. I would just go because I thought that's what you're supposed to do and that somehow I'm a failure if I don't stick to it. But this time, I actually really looked forward to going. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a straight line of just pure progress. There were definitely some days where I just felt extra tired or extra lazy, but it was more about how I was feeling that day rather than not wanting to go to the gym. So when I first started, I went for just 3 to 4 times a week. That was more than enough for me. It fit my schedule, my energy levels, and it gave my beginner body enough time to recover from my workouts. In just a couple of weeks, I already felt so much better. And because of that, I thought I looked much better and much lighter than I actually was. You know what I mean? Like, because I felt so good in my body, I felt like I lost more weight than I actually did. I would say my workouts are 90% weightlifting or resistance training and 10% cardio. Now I go 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes more.
Are you sure about that?
But that's only because I'm following a 10-week program at the moment and I have some very specific goals. But otherwise, 3 to 4 times a week would be more than enough. By the way, I totally acknowledge the privilege that I have, that I actually have a good gym that I can freely use, and more importantly, that I even have the time to go. So if it doesn't fit your budget or your schedule, don't feel bad for not going.
It's okay, it's okay!
Just do your best to have some movement in your day with whatever time and resources you have. When it comes to food, the only thing that I did was cut out dairy and gluten. That's what I still do to this day. When I first started out, I completely cut them out from my diet. I would literally check the label of everything that I was eating, and if it had any wheat or dairy products, then I wouldn't eat it. Not because I was afraid of it, but because I was challenged by this PCOS Instagram page to just, try cutting them out for a couple of weeks or months and see how your body feels. And the first week or 2, I felt so good. It was my first time to have a meal and not feel like throwing up afterwards. Now that I think about it, I think every single meal that I had prior to cutting gluten and dairy out contained gluten and dairy. And that's why I felt so bad, like I would always be bloated and my acid reflux was so bad. I was also so surprised that it wasn't that hard to completely cut gluten and dairy out from my diet. I mean, it's a little difficult, especially where we are right now, where we can't make our own food, but I always thought it was impossible. I had a friend who is lactose intolerant, and I always teased her about how miserable her life must be without cheese and ice cream. Who's laughing now? Anyway, I don't want to cut gluten and dairy out from my diet completely forever. So I had always planned on reintroducing them back to my body. I also heard from nutritionists that it's not good to cut certain food groups out from your diet because when you stop eating certain foods, then your body will stop producing the enzymes that will help digest it. And you will develop an allergy, intolerance, or a sensitivity when you didn't have one before. I would say right now I have cut dairy by about 95% and gluten about 80%. Like I would still eat plain bread and dark chocolate sometimes, but definitely not as much as before. And I think that's what made the most difference in my weight. Like they say, fitness happens in the gym, but weight loss happens in the kitchen. And I think that's also what made the most difference in my skin and my acne, but I'm gonna share more on that in another video. Aside from cutting dairy and gluten from my diet, I just ate as normal. I didn't count calories or keep track of my macros. I didn't cut out sugar. I didn't stop eating carbs. I ate everything.
No, wait, that's wasabi.
Except for gluten and dairy, but that naturally made me stop eating sugary foods because those usually contain gluten and or dairy. So for dessert, my only option here is fruits. I also got obsessed with Abby Sharp's content on YouTube. She's a registered dietitian in Canada. One of the major things that I learned from her is to focus on adding rather than taking away. So I just focused on adding more vegetables and more fiber in my diet.
You know, eat your green vegetables.
Rather than fixating whether or not I should cut out rice from my diet, which is, by the way, the #1 advice from all my Filipino friends and family. No rice. Oh, you're still eating rice? I can't eat cake anymore.
Now I can't have rice.
Now I eat pretty much the same thing every single day. So lots of veggies, lots of protein, lots of fruits. I try to eat as balanced as I can. It's a little bit challenging because like I said, we can't make our own food. So I just try to make the best choices that I can with what I have here, which is what you should do as well. And oh, very important, I also don't drink my calories.
Wait!
I never liked sugary drinks anyway, but I would occasionally have soda before, especially after eating lechon or something oily. But now I have trained my palate to just enjoy my soda water. I used to hate it so much, like I used to be disgusted by it, but now I can't live without it. I think that drinking your calories is the worst when you're trying to lose weight. Maybe instead of drinking orange juice, why not eat the orange? Instead of having that banana smoothie, why not eat the banana? Since I started last March, I'm so surprised at myself for not having a single craving, like at all. I think it's true that the more you eat, the more you crave. Because when I was still eating cake, I used to crave cake a lot. When I used to eat cheese, I used to crave cheese a lot. But now I don't even think about it. Not to say that I'll never eat cake ever again. In fact, I had some last Christmas. But now I know that it's okay to have a little, have some, and be satisfied. Like, no need to eat the whole cake, Kim. Another thing that helped me the most in my fitness journey is watching fitness channels on YouTube and reading a lot of articles about fitness. You have to be very careful who you listen to though, because there's a lot of misinformation being spread out there and it's very, very difficult to figure out who's telling the truth. One would say, eat more eggs, and another would say, don't eat eggs. Like, in general, I choose those who are based on science and research. Most of them usually have a degree or certificates or diplomas or things like that. Even then, I would take whatever they say with a grain of salt. Like, I wouldn't just believe them just because they said so. I would take what they say, I would look into it, and draw my own conclusion. With all the information out there, not everything will apply to you anyway, so just take whatever value you can get from these creators and apply them to your own life. There is no use to knowing all of these things if you're not gonna do any of them anyway. The most helpful tip that I can give you when deciding whether an influencer is worth listening to or not is this. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. For example, lose 10 kilos in 10 days. Get abs in 2 weeks. Lose 20 pounds. No exercise. No diet. Who wouldn't want that? Those are all BS, so you need to learn how to tune all those things out. Anyway, constantly watching those fitness channels helped get me in the zone all the time. So I would watch them when I was brushing my teeth, or when I was doing the dishes, or when I was doing my makeup. So just whenever my hands weren't free, or when I was doing something else, I would just have them in the background, and that kept me in the zone all the time. Like workout, fitness, I'm in the zone. Another thing I did was make small changes that made it easier for me to stick to my goals. So for example, I rearranged my cabinet in a way that the first thing that I could see and grab would be my workout clothes. I put my workout shoes close to the door. I made overnight oats so that I don't have to think about what I would eat the next day and make bad decisions instead. I would pick a workout video that I wanted to follow the next day for my workout, so I would be excited to go to the gym. You know, just small things like that really went a long way. So one more very important habit that I have formed in the past couple of months is finding ways to move around in the house. I remember before I started all this, I was so lazy. I was totally fine with just laying in bed all day, only getting up to pee and to eat and to work. And now I'm constantly sweeping the floor, fixing our bed, rearranging my closet, organizing stuff, you know, just small ways to move around. And I'm sure for some of you guys, it's very overwhelmingly easy. And whenever I feel lazy to do such chores, I just think to myself, okay, I'm burning calories right now. And whenever I see Kenan's closet being
unorganized again,
even though I just fixed it a couple of days ago, I think to myself, okay, I'm gonna fix it again. I'm burning calories right now. Lose weight and fix your marriage. Follow for more advice. In all seriousness, guys, I know that weight loss is much more nuanced than all that. This is just what I did, and as you can see, it worked really well for me. Do keep in mind that it's already been 10 months and I've only lost 15 kilos. That means 1.5 kilos per month. I think that's very realistic for most people. I can even go a bit faster than that, but I don't want to suffer. You know, I keep telling Kenan that I feel like I'm cheating because I always associated losing weight with a degree of suffering, like being super sore from working out or starving from all the dieting. But I can honestly say that in the last 10 months, I never once felt hungry or got too sore to go back to the gym. I'm not gonna come on here and say that it's easy. It's simple. Just be in a calorie deficit, but it's not easy. But it's worth it. You're worth it. The best version of yourself is worth going through all the effort. If you're going to go through a fitness journey of your own, just know that it will take time, blood, sweat, tears, like literally. Just please, please, please stay away from all those get fit quick schemes online. There is no such thing as fast and healthy weight loss. There is such a thing as fast weight loss for sure, but it's gonna be too hard and you're not gonna be able to stick to it, and you're just gonna gain all the weight back, maybe even more. So it's not worth going through all the hassle. Trust me guys, I have been there many times before. Anyway, I hope that I was able to share something that is of help and value to at least one of you out there.
Just one.
I will try my best to share more tips in future videos. If you have any questions for me, just comment them down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you enjoyed this. And I'll see you on my next video.